Hey YouTube, how's it going? ZeroMagnumX. This is an update video for everybody. I feel like I voted to you for quite a while. The content on the channel has been a little lackluster and I'm here to tell you why. First I want to say that I am a dad now, if you haven't picked that up or are new to the channel, so that takes a lot of my free time up, generally speaking. So it makes it difficult to get video editing and video content creation moving. I mean, a lot of content creation is figuring out what kind of videos you'd like to put up and what kind of video content you want moving forward. A lot of that is done through feedback, through views, understanding what you have to say, and figuring out what you would like. So I try to figure that all out as part of the process for the channel and give you the most quality videos that I can. A lot of the content will dip down and has been since about the middle of August because of a lot of events going on, family events, birthdays, holiday, and until about January, so there's going to be this little decline and then it'll climb back up. All this means that it's going to be increasingly difficult to edit videos and, like I said, create videos. I do it on my own time and out of my own pocket, and that is sometimes difficult whenever you have a great idea for a video but you just can't put it up. Part of the bane of being a content creator, I suppose. The next thing I want to mention is that I make content creation, I do the videos, record them because I like doing it. Because I like making videos for everybody to enjoy. Sometimes a video can be an escape from everyday lives, from everything going on. And it's just nice to sit down, relax, and watch a video of a game you like or a content creator you appreciate, which thank you if you appreciate me. That means the world to me. The next thing I want to say is that when it comes to the card game content I put up, I often have to travel or get the product I need to make the content from online sources only, or an hour and 20 minutes roughly away is where I travel to play the two games right now featured on the channel, which are Cardfight Vanguard and Dragoborne. You may not know this, but the only game shop, well, you probably don't, the only game shop in my area is roughly 15 minutes away, is Magic the Gathering only, and is open only like 1 or 2 days a week. So with that looming overhead, to try and get any content out is difficult whenever my content is mostly Vanguard and will be Dragoborne. So I try my best for everybody, but sometimes 2 and 2 just doesn't make 4. You know, like the plans you have just fall through and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm gonna move on to now the card games themselves in particular. Cardfight Vanguard I have a little bit more to talk on about. Dragoborne I have a little bit to talk about, but it's where it is. What I have to say about Dragoborne is pretty plain and straightforward. Cardfight Vanguard, the first thing I want to say is that my channel is family friendly. For those who don't know and are just experiencing this for the past few months and didn't realize that theme or anything, or haven't listened to an update video, shh, it is family friendly. So anytime somebody says a curse word, anytime somebody says sarcastic or profane language in a very like negative tone towards the demographic, or you know, whatever, you know, if you've ever been in a game shop full of 22 to 30 some year old men, you know how it is. They just kind of let stuff fly out of their mouths. I have to edit that out whenever I do the tournament videos, and sometimes that content editing can take about 2 or 3 hours for a video that's about 30 to like 25 to 30 minutes, and editing back to like 22 to 19 minutes sometimes to make it shorter, to edit out all the cursing, and to get the video just right where I'd like it to be, and then reviewing it and making sure it's good for YouTube, making sure everything is as I want it to be, even if it's just simple Windows Movie Maker work and cutting things out. It still takes a while because you have to review the video so many times to make sure it's right where it needs to be. The other half of that you might say, well, what about personal recording like we've seen on your card table? Well, you know, that's a great point, but the issue with that is there's less variety, which was the point in starting the tournament videos, is because we only own so many decks to play, right? Kitmitz and I, she usually only pilots 1 or 2 decks, and she stays on that deck forever and doesn't want to move to another deck. She gets into her comfort zone and says, this is where I want to be. I generally only pilot like 3 or 4 decks at a time, and to be honest with you, only take like 2, maybe 3 decks rotating to tournaments. So that is something to mention, and getting that product is difficult sometimes to make the decks that I want to make. Establishing trades, finding somebody willing to make a trade, it's a long process to get decks up on the channel, and the tournament scenes provide a much quicker experience and a much easier tone for everybody than what Kitmitz and I could do here personally. Unless like you guys want to see different decks versus Alt-Mile Brave or proxies or whatever, I'm not sure where you guys draw the line on what would interest you or not. But for me, I like having the actual cards and trying to get the best content out I can and the best quality I can. I strive for that. So that's kind of the hiccups with Cardfight Vanguard, is it's time consuming to edit, or on the flip side of that, it'd be the same decks virtually. And trying to find a time whenever the little one's quiet, you can probably hear in the background right now, where we can just record a clean, quiet game that's focused. Might take 5 or 6 takes to figure something else. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to Dragoborne. Dragoborne's really easy compared to Cardfight Vanguard to talk about. It has 2 issues with it. Right now there's no tournament scenes for it locally, so I have to wait on that, and product being in my hands. A lot of it is online buying, but because it's a new game, places are just sold out of the card I need. Or they can be. Sometimes some of the cards are just like $10 to $12, or all the way up to even kind of $20. And that makes it difficult to get play sets, to put a lot of money into the game when there's no tournament for it. There's no motivation to play it because I don't have to worry about doing really well in it, as opposed to something like Magic the Gathering, where I go to every other week. I go to Friday Night Magic, and I play at a tournament, and it matters if I do well or not. The same thing for Cardfight Vanguard. Every other Monday we go up. It matters if I do well or not. You know, it's that kind of thing where you put the money into it, you want to do well. Dragoborne hasn't reached that point yet. So between product and there not being tournaments quite yet, there should be in October. So hopefully that will change, and hopefully we'll get turnouts. That is where Dragoborne is right now in terms of the channel. I was able to speed that 1 game up and then the 2 deck profiles, but then I just kind of sat on my heels like, oh well, where do we go from here? Looking at deck lists, there's so many different pieces that we need for cards, you know, for the recipes and stuff. There's so many things we have to still collect and acquire, and I'm slowly getting there. I am close to most of the playsets of decks I will need for the next video, but it's a slow process. Finance is always a thing. I do this channel out of my own pocket, so to speak, and sometimes getting everything you need isn't just snap, quick, boom, you're done. Like I said, I have to travel about 1 hour and 20 minutes to even get Dragoborne product. besides ordering online. So that's something to consider when making the content I do. Alright, the last thing I want to cover is I do have some ideas to make this a little bit smoother. I was thinking about a card fight Vanguard and or Dragoborne news video, like weekly or even monthly, of what was going on. I'd prefer weekly, but there may not always be enough content. And it'd be kind of awkward taking a week off. I might even do bi-weekly. I think that would be kind of cool. Kind of a news desk segment. So it's difficult to say all at once, more than I thought it would be. And talk about what's going on in the life of the game. Like, it'd mostly be like tournament things happening, or like if there's announcements for a new set, kind of looking at people's reactions and figuring all that out. It's just more difficult for a game like Cardfight Vanguard, and even by that stretch Dragoborne, because Vanguard doesn't have as much going on in terms of like following pros. There isn't a pro tour like there is for Magic. There isn't a YCS kind of thing like there is for Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's kind of hard to find content for it, but I could try. And I wanted to know if you'd be interested in a news thing, or if you'd just be like, nah, please just keep to the tabletop, and we want to see games, we want to see that. I'd like to know what you think down in the comments below. Please tell me. The second thing is this is very hard for me to ask, but I do want to ask it. Because like I said, I do this, I make the content for free on my channel and at my own pace, and that isn't frequent enough, I personally even feel, to be satisfying. So I wanted to know if I would start like asking for like a Patreon, if I try that avenue out to help motivate myself and Kitmits to put out videos, figure something out, even if it's a deck profile, even if it's and I finally downloaded it, trying to do card fight area streams, something to put up more content for you if you would have interest in that. For the record, I don't like card fight area and digital third-party clients, I guess is the word you'd use. Usually because they're sloppy, they're manual, and they don't provide the same beautiful like visuals and crispness that an official product would. Of course, I'm referring to something like Cardfight Online that's been canceled. And I don't know if Dragoborne is going to make something for their game. It looks like they have the potential to, from all the videos they put out. I'd really love for them to do that. The other thing I was considering, now this is kind of a different approach, and this is going to be within the upcoming year or two, is to maybe start thinking about streaming. It's called Magic the Gathering Arena. It is basically the same idea of something like Hearthstone or other digital platforms, where you're taking the game and placing it up. Now, I played Magic Online. I don't like Magic Online because it is pay out of pocket. There isn't a way to earn cards in a realistic way. There isn't a way to say, hey, I own this card in real life. I can have it on the game. They never put codes in the packs or anything like Pokemon TCG does, which if you've seen any of my streams, you understand what I'm talking about. So that's another thing that I've been considering for the channel, but I don't know if there's much interest for Magic the Gathering on the channel. That's by large why I keep that and even Hearthstone off the channel, because there's just not a lot of interest in that for streaming. I really wish Cardfight Online hadn't died. I'd be streaming it consistently. I think one of my streams was like 6 hours for it. I love that game so much, but unfortunately it's not going to be reality. So let me know what you guys would like to see out of the channel. Let me know what you want to see from the videos, what your favorite things are about it, what you didn't care for so much, and just leave comments down below. And I am asking every one of my subscribers to please do this. It's very important to me. And like I said, let me know if you think if I up the frequency of content, if you would be interested in supporting me through Patreon. If not, I'm not offended. I do not think my content is at the quality level to be Patreon supported to begin with. But I figured, hey, you know, if you want more content more frequently, that would be a motivator and something I could say, hey, you know, well, I need to make this video today because people are paying for it. It's a lot different whenever your channel is free versus whenever it becomes a source of revenue. So I just figured I'd ask and see what you thought, pitch that idea. If you think I'm a complete fool because, hey, you know, no, then you're not worth Patreon, I get it. You know, my content is very, I don't want to say amateur, but it's very normal. It's not special. There aren't visual effects going around. You know, there's not professionalism or high level of it for editing the video and making the segments. And I mean, that's because usually most of those things take either hours upon hours of work, or they take like teams, you know, where a team is putting it together. It's a production. And I just don't have the time or resources for either right now, mostly because of my real life job and real life things going on. And I don't know if anybody would be interested in like saying, hey, I can help you spice up your videos or whatever. If there is somebody out there, hey, please contact me. I'd love to hear about it. So long as that it wouldn't cost me anything, because I don't have much money as it is. But if you want to see improvement for the channel, I'm going to open the option up of, hey, would you be interested in supporting me through Patreon if there was more frequency of videos and maybe even a little bit more professional than they've been. So let me know all of that in the description down below if you're interested in, like I said, Patreon, supporting me through Patreon, and if you're interested in certain content, let me know what that content is. That is the biggest part of this video. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you want that certain content, like I want the card fights, hey, I want you to do this segment, I really missed it, please let me know. If you want me to do Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you missed it, let me know. I mean, Dueling Book exists and I can pop on there and probably make videos or something. I probably am not going to investigate into the game physically, because every time I try, they kill the decks I want to play, and I just can't keep up with something as expensive as Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore and compete, and there's not really a locals I can go to. I'll be happy if I can tag along with somebody and borrow a deck and play for fun and whatever, sure, but as far as that game goes, it would mostly be Dueling Book and probably just grinding against certain decks against my friend and what have you. So whatever, I don't know what you guys want. Just let me know in the comments down below if this video doesn't get many views, if this video doesn't get much in terms of feedback, then there's just going to be less frequency of videos because I don't have much direction right now as to what everybody's looking for. So please, please, please offer feedback as to what you'd like to see in a serious manner, because I will just ignore comments that are plain trolling or plain joking. I want to know what you want out there, and I want to see it from all of you. Please, I don't care if this video has 500 comments on it or more. That's great. That's feedback I want. So yes, take care and have a good one, YouTube. Thank you for listening, and I hope this update video was satisfactory. Have a good one and have a great week.